Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Om Vishnupada Paramhansa Parijava Stota Stream of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Vishnupada Paramhansa Parijava Stota Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. तुलसी देवी की जय. मायापुर जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna, I seek the the blessings of all the assembled devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam Friday morning class. We are reading from Canto 4, Chapter 2, Verse 10. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chapter 4, Canto 4, Chapter 2, Verse 10. Ayam tu loka palanam yashoghrino nirapatrapaha sadvir acharitaha pantha ena stabdhena dushitaha. Ayam tu loka palanam yashoghrino nirapatrapaha sadvir acharita pantha yena stabdena dushitaha. Ayam tu loka palanam yashoghrino nirapatrapaha sadvira charitaha pantha yena stabdhena dushitaha. lokapalanam shoghino nirapatrapa acharita pantha yena stabdena dushita ayam tu lokapalanam sadvirachirata pantha ayam tu lokapalanam yashoghino nirapatra sadviracharita pantha yena stabdena dushita tu lokapalanam yashoghino nirapatrapa sadviracharita pantha yena stabdena dushitah ayam tu lokapalanam yashoghino nirapatrapa sadviracharita pantha yena stabdena dushita. Hare Krishna. Words meaning: I am, he, Shiva, tu, but, lokapalanam, of the governors of the universe, yashaghna, spoiling the fame, nirapatrapaha, shameless, sadbhi, by those of gentle manner, acharitaha, followed, pantha, the path, yena, by whom, that is Shiva, stabdhena, being devoid of Hare Krishna, being devoid of proper actions, dushitaha, is polluted. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Translation: Shiva has spoiled the name and fame of the governors of the universe and has polluted the path of gentle manners. Because he is shameless, he does not know how to act. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Daksha wanted to impress upon the minds of all the great sages assembled in that meeting that Shiva, being one of the demigods, had ruined the good reputations of all the demigods by his unmannerly behavior. The words used against Lord Shiva by Daksha can also be understood in a different way, in a good sense. For example, he stated that Shiva is Yashoghna, which means one who spoils name and fame. So this can also be interpreted to mean that he was so famous that his fame killed all other fame. Yashoghna. Again, Daksha used the word nirapatrapa, which also can be used in two senses. One sense is one who is stunted, which also can be used in two senses. One sense is one who is stunted, and another sense is one who is the maintainer of persons who have no other shelter. That is nirapatrapa. Generally, Lord Shiva is known as the Lord of the Bhutas, or lower grade of living creatures. They take shelter of Lord Shiva because he is very kind to everyone and is very quickly satisfied. Therefore, he is called Ashutosha. To such man who cannot approach other demigods or Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva gives shelter. Therefore, the word Nirapatrapa can be used in that sense. Om Jnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrind Ki Jai. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada here beautifully changed the word, Yashogna. That is the brilliance of Srila Prabhupada. You can imagine in all these translations how many brilliant things he has done. Yashogna, the one who shameless, it is described here, right? But Srila Prabhupada changed totally the meaning of Yashogna. Thank you. Haribol. So what he says, Prabhupada is saying, one who spoils name and fame, and he's translating that also, one who, that it is the shameless. See here, Yashagna, spoiling the fame, one who spoils name and fame. So this can be interpreted to mean that, what he's saying, mean that one who spoils, which means one who spoils name and fame. So this can be also interpreted to mean that he was so famous that his fame killed all other fame. So that is the beauty, because when we read purport, and this is spoken by Daksha Prajapati, he is in great anger, but when we read like this, we think what we are reading. He's so shameless, he's like this, like that, So today, we are in fourth canto. We'll just see a recap. Normally, whenever I read, I just recap the first canto main points, second canto main points, coming to the third canto, and then the fourth canto. See, the fourth canto, there are a lot of stories are there where we can derive a lot of inspiration. One is Daksha. We have already started with Daksha pastime. The next, Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, and then Prithu Maharaj's, and then there are many other very enlightening stories are there. So we'll come to this section in just 10-15 minutes. But first, see, when we start with Canto 1, we see the mood, For every Srimad Bhagavatam has got everything. We have to set our frequency, our mood into Srimad Bhagavatam. They say, no, Bhagavatam has to be read. Parikshit Maharaj read in the last 7 days of his life, he read Srimad Bhagavatam. And why we are reading now? But it has got so many stories, so many lessons for a grihastha, for a brahmachari, for all people, so many lessons are there from all the pastimes. And especially, if you see the third canto, starting from Devhuti's pastime to Lord Daksha's pastime, and then not Lord Daksha, Daksha's pastime, and then Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, and then Prithu Maharaj's pastime, and then on. These are directly related to our functioning in this material world. So the sages of Naimisharanya, they started off, they had great respect. We have learned, right? They are headed by Shaunaka Rishi, and then they are addressing Sutta Goswami. And they are saying Snigdha, they are saying Shaumya, they are addressing so respectfully, And then they are using, they are saying they are so much grateful. They are saying that it is by the will of the providence. See, it is by the will of the providence that we all, thousands of sages, we have assembled here and in this boat. And you are heading us. Otherwise, the material thing, the material world, the age of Kali, is deteriorating us every day and night. So it is, so much grateful. And the same gratefulness we can see throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's start in the first canto also, when Parikshit Maharaj was cursed. He was in fact very grateful. Let's utilize this time, right? When Arjuna's power, Arjuna is so we saw it in Bhagavad Gita, before that also. When his power was taken and he was without any Gandiva, without any power, still in that condition Arjuna was thankful to the Lord. Why? Because when the power was required, he was empowered. Empowered with words, empowered with strength, empowered with all the arms and ammunition, everything was given to him. But when same power was not required, he accepted that fact, right? So right now the war is over. I don't need so much of strength, so much of power. So he accepted it. Parikshit Maharaj, he accepted the curse. He was the king. He could have easily challenged it. Just like we see today, right? What is happening? Once you get the power, the most powerful person right now, who is the most powerful person in the material world? See? So you name it. He comes every day, he signs one executive order only. Whether it is good for US or it is in the long run, in the short run, we don't know. But the manner in which he is using the power, see, the same Trump, if he does good, and in the end, ultimately how many years he will be there president? Let's say another 3 years. He cannot again come back because there are certain rules. But if the same guy, when the power is taken and he is humbled, so that is the test. We are not criticizing anybody. We are saying that the power, the way the power makes you really, makes all of us, that now I am powerful, I can move things. That's what happened in Daksha's case also. We'll come to that. So the sages, all sages headed by Shaunaka Rishi, they were very, very grateful. Somehow or other, we all are in this boat, headed by our leader, and we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Gratefulness, eagerness, at any stage of time, the eagerness. Prabhupada said, we all know. Prabhupada, we are not enthusiastic. Sometimes we feel, even if we are not enthusiastic, we should act that we are enthusiastic. This is very important. Prabhupada said in one sentence that throughout our life we have to remind ourselves that when we are with work, when we are occupied with other things, at least we should open Srimad Bhagavatam once, if not daily. We have to open daily, Nityam Bhagavata Sevya, but at least then we should feel enthusiastic about the stories, about the pastimes, about all the descriptions and the amount of effort Srila Prabhupada has taken in translating these wonderful 18,000 shlokas. So that's the eagerness. And in that eagerness, see how many beautiful questions, right? And these questions, if you focus, these are not specific to any particular religion or sect or caste or anything, nothing like that. One Prabhupada disciple in Back to Godhead, I was reading, he said the very first time when he opened Srimad Bhagavatam and he went through these questions, 6 questions which sages of Naimisharanya at that time they asked, these are very universal. And it is, Because if you see, he was coming from a Jewish family. He said, we also have these questions, and sometimes we fast whole night, and there is a specific day or specific night where we ask, what is the purpose of this fasting in the night? What is this night for? What are the benefits of this night? What not to do in this night? What are the significance of this night? Like that, there are 5-6 questions there also. But when he comes from that background, when he came to this background, and he opened Srimad Bhagavatam, he heard Srila Prabhupada, he heard devotees, various Maharajas, various Prabhupada disciples, and he said, these sages are asking questions. Tell me, the very first question, tell me, Sutta Goswami, what is the ultimate aim of the people in general? See, in general is very important, not only people, ultimate aim of all the humanity, all the people in general, and what one should do at the time of death. Not only at the time of death, but ultimately what one should do, what should be the ultimate aim. So that's a very universal question. So he was stunted. The word is used, Prabhupada used stunted. He was stunted. What is this scripture, These people are asking the ultimate aim of all the people in all the time, what should one do? The thing, what is the essence of all the scriptures? They never said what is the essence of Vedic scriptures or these scriptures. It's the essence of all the scriptures, right? So these are very, very universal questions. And then of course they asked about Krishna, the third question. They also asked about the avatars and everything. They asked where Krishna, after Krishna, where we will take shelter. These questions are asked. But the opening remark, the very first question, that what should be the ultimate aim of the people, what should one do? This is very universal. That shows not only the eagerness, not only the gratefulness, that also shows how much faith they had and how much concern and compassion they had for the humanity which is coming now, because they were doing yajna for thousands and thousands of years, that Kali Yuga is coming now. This Yuga is going to be with a lot of animosity, quarrel, so many fights will be there, so many things will be there, so what should one do? So that shows all the compassion, all the gratefulness. And they said what? That we are not tired of hearing, just like Parikshit later on in the chapters. Sukdev Goswami, go on telling me all the things, and I'm asking you the questions, no. So that sets the motion in the first canto that really inspires all of us, that how much effort those sages have done in that time and how much effort our Guru and also Srila Prabhupada, his Guru, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Swami Maharaj, they have done in translating these enormous scriptures, whether it is Srimad Bhagavatam, whether it is Chaitanya Charitamrita, NOI, NOD, whatever it is. In fact, Prabhupada was going to translate Mahabharata also. If he had time, he would have translated. Many disciples, they have done it. So that sets the motion. And with that motion, when we read, that mentality, with that mood, with that state of mind, when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we derive a lot of inspiration from it. So that's first canto. Of course, there are many stories there, there are many things, but this is the 6 questions that sets the whole motion in action, The second canto, again, is very interesting. The second canto describes the sarga, the primary creation, and also many places you will find, many acharyas, they have written that if somebody doesn't believe directly in bhakti, then somehow or other, how to relate? Everybody, we cannot do, you ask so many people to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. जैसे यार तुम लोगों ने इस हरे कृष्णा को ऐसा क्यों कर दिया है, राम को पहले कराना था, ये ऐसा था वैसा था. सो मेनी क्वेश्चंस आर देयर. सम विल चैंट, क्या डिफरेंस होता है, First time when I heard, this also came in my mind, that why it was Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Now it's very difficult to pronounce also that, see, after so many years, So it's Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So why it is like that? But I thought, what difference it makes? Who should come first or this? This is should not be so much of concern. So I took it that way. But there are so many. They said, oh, Vishnu, Krishna, Ram, aise tum logon ne ye sab kar diya hai. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The thing is, for them, somehow or the other, how they can relate to Krishna through energies. So a lot of things are described in second canto, that in Chaturshloki. If you see, Lord Brahma, when he gets this instruction, in fact, Lord Brahma is the responsible person for the secondary creation, right? And he is given the whole authority for that. So he was instructed very properly, and that's very important. See, when you go for a big project, if you are instructed, see, what the instruction was given? The first instruction given to him was, we all know this one, it's just a recap, that Krishna, what he says, that before this creation I existed. Now you are going to create. So in a sense, don't think that you are the super boss, I am existing now also, and I will continue to exist, right? Chatushloki Bhagavatam first is, I existed before, means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he existed before. He's telling to Lord Brahma, I am existing now, and I will continue to exist. So it means what? This is complete Krishna consciousness umbrella, right? I am there before, I am now, and whatever you will create, that will go into the process we all know. After certain years, it will go into the annihilation, and then again it will be created. Then after that, after the whole material world is annihilated, then also I am existing. So I existed before, I am existing now, and I will continue to exist. This is, in essence, the first Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. Very powerful. If we continue to focus on this, we will be really that we are nothing, but we think that we are doing lot of things, First. Second, what he says, Brahma, whatever you are seeing, if that is not connected with me, that it has got no value. See, whole Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada gives a huge purport. If you read those purports, it's some pages purports are there. Whatever in this world you are seeing is exciting, is beautiful, happening, if that is not connected with me, has got no value. That is the essence of Krishna consciousness, specifically for us, because we are involved in so many different activities being grihasthas. Connect it with Krishna. It's very, in one line, connect everything with Krishna. So first, I existed before, I am existing now, I will continue to exist. That sets the supremacy of Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Second is, connect everything to me. If you don't connect, there is no value to it. Third is, Krishna is saying, you will create material world, yes. So I am inside that, and I am also outside of it. That Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita many places, right? I am in, and I am also at the same time, I am outside. The fourth thing he says is that by all practical means, when you understand this, that I am existing all the time, and you learn to connect everything with me, and I am inside, I am also outside, then in all cases, all circumstances, you continue to search me, continue to find me. Right? So these four things also makes a huge impact on our consciousness. And as I said, for the people, so many people, they are not into Krishna consciousness. How many people, how many percentage of world's population, they are Krishna consciousness, so-called. There are many people who believe in Krishna, but this understanding, very few. That's why the second canto, in the first few chapters or many chapters, you will see somehow or other, those who can't see or can't have faith in the personal form of the Lord, they can relate to his energies. He said, no, the Swarat, Roop is there, the established, if you can, the whole world, whole universe is Krishna's body. You can connect with hand, with leg, with chest, with so many things. Or the energies, for example, in this world now, if you see, I don't know how many of you have seen the International Space Station. Anybody has seen on YouTube how beautiful they have made, like this. It is said it is 0.5 kilometer long. Huh? It's as long as football stadium. You can imagine. Football stadium long, International Space Station. And when you see the capsule, they went, Sunita Williams and other American astronaut, they were stuck there for 9 months. Can you imagine, in 9 months in weightlessness? When she came here, their doctor is saying, don't give them something like, which requires gravity. See, to hold this, it requires gravity, right? Against the gravity, I have to. So we are, they are into so much of weightlessness that they cannot lift anything after 9 months over there. So they said, give them plastic cups to drink, because that has very light weight. No, so it is mind-boggling, Krishna's creation, Lord Brahma's secondary creation and Krishna's ultimate creation, that you go kilometers above, you make a football stadium like this space station, and how do you go there? There is, if you read that, if you see it on the YouTube, they have this capsule on top, SpaceX capsule, and then there is a propulsion also, 2 stages, and what not they have designed inside, capacity for 7, 2 main people, 2 main astronauts, and then first stage is gone, second stage is gone, and the last stage only that module is there, capsule module is there, and that will open and you come out, you stay there for some days. They stayed for 9 months, right? What they ate, how they managed there. So who is managing? If you connect with this one, this is Krishna, okay, you can experiment little, This is energy. So even if we are fascinated by this, we have to be very thankful to the Krishna's energy, right? And if you see how they came down, I was wondering how they will come. They are coming again at a certain stage. When the gravity comes or somewhere, it is detached, and that capsule, the parachute is there, and then they come and they land on the sea. So how much control is required? Imagine when it is coming like this, and with human beings. It is not unmanned. This is with humans sitting, and then we can see them alive, going up, staying for 9 months, doing some experiments. And experiments also what they are doing, that is described in second canto. All the matter-related experiments, which is this water is there, no, air, which carbon compound is there, no, this stone, what is this, everything is going on, whether you go to moon, whether you are stationed. And they walk also, space walk is also there. Amazing. No? This is second canto, like if we cannot connect directly with Krishna for any reason, we can connect with the energy. This is energy functioning. But at the same time, we have to say, thank you, Krishna. This is your energy which we are utilizing it. Let's say EV, electric vehicle. Now in coming days, all of us, we don't have to drive anything. There will be autonomous function. Big companies like Tesla, BYD, they are working on, in fact, they have come up also. You just sit in the car, if the roads are compatible, if the signals are compatible, just sit in the car, put the things, and you will reach there. It is some functional, autonomous functional system. So whose energy is this? This is second canto's fifth canto, energy is there, working, matter. So for those people, for us, when we sometimes think what is going on, if we connect these developments, these things with the energy of Krishna, that's described here, right? Second. Now we come to the third canto and the fourth canto. Basically in the third, fourth canto, this is a part which has started from third canto. Why? Because now Lord Brahma's responsibility is there. He has heard those Chatushloki, so he has to create now. And his main function is to fill this universe, material world with people, right? So, Swambhu Manu will not go into the details of what happened in Brahma's, when he was trying to create so many things, he faced difficulties and everything. But ultimately, Swambhu Manu and Shatrupa, right? So they had 3 daughters, wonderful 3 daughters, and 2 sons. 3 daughters, Devhuti, Akuti and Prasuti, and 2 sons, Uttanpad and Priyavarat. So it is said, if you read everywhere there is a Falashruti, we should remember these names. Vidura and Maitreya conversation is there, and they say if we remember at least these names, many of our sins will be gone. It's because millions and millions of sins we have done. So there are 3 daughters, 2 sons. Now the first daughter, Devhuti's pastime, we all know how she was married to Kardama Muni and what she learned from Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni also wanted a very good looking wife. He got it. Then they desired to have a son like Supreme Personality of Godhead. They got that also. Then when the son comes, Kardama leaves, and Devhuti spends time with Lord Kapila, and she is enlightened and everything. That is one daughter's. But not only son, it is described here just few shlokas before in 4th canto. Devhuti and Kardama had how many daughters? 9 daughters. One of the daughter was Anasuya, right? And Anasuya, this is also described here, Anasuya was married to sage Atri. And Atri sage wanted to have, Jagadishwara like son who is the controller of this universe. So he meditated for long period of time. In the end, what happened? Because he did not know the, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. So all of them, they appeared. So this, but I never asked for all. So he said, okay, since you have prayed for us, so from the Brahma's extension, I think Soma god, moon god, from Vishnu, Dattatare, and from Lord Shiva's Durvasa Muni. So they became the sons of Anasuya and Atri. So this finishes that part, mainly the Devhuti pastime. Then the other daughter, who is Akuti. In Akuti was married to sage Ruchi, and Swambhu Manu had asked, when you have a son, you give it to me. In those days, it used to happen like, daughter's son, the father of the daughter used to take for some purpose of yajna or for some other purpose and all those things. So they had, I think, yajna and the daughter. Yajna was the son, and Dakshina. Dakshina was the daughter. They got also married. They had a son. It was given to Swambhu Manu. So that is like Akuti. Then comes Prasuti. And here, we are coming to the pastime here. The Prasuti, the daughter of Swambhu Manu, was married to Daksha Prajapati. See, Daksha Prajapati, name also, there are so many Prajapatis, but he is named like Daksha. He's very clever, very smart, very knowledgeable, and all those things. So what happened when Prasuti was married to Daksh Prajapati, they had 16 daughters. The 13 daughters, all the names are there in Srimad Bhagavatam: Shraddha, Maitri, Daya, Tushti, Pushti, Kriya. So many names are there. All of them, 13 were married to Dharma. See, this is also there. he got married all the 13 daughters to Dharma. And himself Dharma is not following his own Dharma. We are coming to Daksha Prajapati, no? When he arranged this yagna and everything, what happened? Some idea you all have, right? So Daksha's and Prasuti's daughters, 13 daughters, they were all very, very elevated daughters. The name also you can see, Shraddha. All these daughters, 13 daughters, were married to Dharma. Dharma means, which is a personality, you know. What is your dharma? We ask, right? Dharma itself is a big word. There is no definition of dharma. So Shraddha was married to Dharma. Bhagavatam describes when Shraddha was married to Dharma, the son name was, anybody remember the son name? Shraddha, Dharma, Shubha. Shubha means auspicious, right? Good things. When Maitri was married, another daughter of Daksh Prajapati and Prasuti, Maitri was married to Dharma, the son named Prasad. Why I am taking these names? Because see the combination. These are all qualities, but they are also persons. You know, in Bhagavatam you will see that. The person, quality, everything has got prana. So this Daksha, who has got such a wonderful 13 daughters married to Dharma, and the result is also wonderful sons like Shubha, Prasad and everything. So there should be some auspiciousness in his life also, right? But that did not happen in the beginning. The 16th daughter of them was Sati. She was married to Lord Shiva. And then when Vidura heard this, then he asked why Sati had no children. And then all these things started here in Srimad Bhagavatam, that to answer that, why Sati, what happened to Sati, why they had no children and everything, the whole pastime started from there. Okay, so what is the pastime? Is that Daksha Prajapati arranges a very huge sacrifice, yagna. And normally, when you arrange something, you are very careful, right? Any program, any big program when we arrange, even though my temperament, let's say somebody's temperament is not good, even if he arranges, he ensures that at least for the time till the program is ongoing, he will maintain some sanctity and everything, right? This is very, very normal. But see here, what happens? He enters, all the people, all the sages, he had called thousands of sages, all of them, they got up. Lord Brahma was also there. Brahma is his father, he will not get up. And Lord Shiva was also sitting, Shiva is son-in-law. So he was expecting son-in-law to offer obeisances or at least get up. He didn't get up. And then what happens, we all know. He created havoc just because Lord Shiva did not get up, did not offer obeisances. And we all know, you will also read further that one side started cursing the other side. First, Daksh Prajapati started blaspheming Lord Shiva. All those things are mentioned here, all bad things, he talked about Lord Shiva. Then the Nandi who was with Lord Shiva, he started giving it back to Brigu. Brigu is in this side. Then Brigu started giving it back to the other side. So it became a complete chaotic. And see, in the beginning he said, the sacrifice was arranged for your own benefit and you created havoc and you created such a scene that in the end what happens? Lord Shiva leaves that place quietly without speaking anything. And then what happens is after some time, again another sacrifice is arranged by Lord Daksha. This time he again calls everybody, all the people, all the sages, everyone, and the Sati and Lord Shiva, they are not called, okay? So Sati asks Lord Shiva that she feels like going, she wants to go because it is her father's event is there, sacrifice is there. So no, he has not called you and he has not called me, so he will not welcome you. Lord Shiva tells Sati that he will not welcome you, and there is a very nice discussion there also. Such a wonderful discussion. What Lord Shiva tells is the person is very nice shloka is there. One who has got wealth, one who has got looks, one who has got vansh, kula, one who has kula, one who has got wealth, one who has got looks, one who has got power, and one who has got knowledge. All that 5, 6 very wonderful qualities, he says, these are extremely good in material world. But if they are connected, if they have stinge of pride, then the same thing becomes completely on the opposite side. No, it leads you down. It has got no value. So your father has, because she was arguing with Lord Shiva, saying that you should have got up. He is, in one sense, in relationship, he is your father-in-law. No? So you should have got up. He said, I was offering prayer in my mind, because it's the super soul to super soul connection anyways. So he says, another shloka is also very nice, I don't remember, but the part of it is, he says, Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabdam, something like that. I was meditating on Vasudeva only. So where is the question of not getting up? Anyways, she goes there without this sanction or without Lord Shiva saying, he said, Lord Shiva said, you will have a tough time there. But again, she went there. Lord Shiva sends all the people, all the Sena, everybody with Lord Sati, and then Sati goes there, and she's welcomed by mother, sisters, everyone. But the father, Daksha Prajapati, see, imagine this condition. Daksha Prajapati has got the wonderful 13 daughters, married to a dharma, wonderful son, wonderful another 16th daughter, Sati, wonderful father-in-law, not father-in-law, son-in-law, Lord Shiva, right? Wonderful wife Prasuti coming from Swayambhu Manu, Lord Brahma's connection. Who can have this background? But one anger, it was not his knee-jerk reaction. See, knee-jerk anger it's still okay. Should not be, but it is still fine. You know, you said something, I said something. That's acceptable. But in this case, he repeatedly went on cursing. It means it is also there in purport, he had something against Lord Shiva all the time. And that when he found that aspect that he has not gotten up, has not offered any respect to Daksha, him, then everything came out. This happens without caring anything, without caring for the sacrifice, without caring for the so many people he has called, he just got mad, right? So what we see here, this is one pastime. The other thing which I said, I don't know whether time will allow, in Dhruva Maharaj's thing and in the Prithu Maharaj. So the point which I was going to express here is responsibility, the first point, responsible position has to come with some kind of detachment. This was my first, I was thinking of speaking on this. Responsibility has to have some kind of detachment. When you are responsible or when you are at a responsible position and attached to the same extent which you were before, the problems will definitely come. Some sort of detachment is essential. Right? We saw it in Prithu. I don't know how many of you remember Prithu Maharaj's responsible king, right? When he was doing the sacrifice, 99 he was stopped at the 99 because Indra was always obstructing that sacrifice, right? Because he was at a responsible position, he was the king of the earth, and the Lord Brahma came and said, Prithu, this you understand. Again, there's a beautiful shloka there. He said, by the will of the providence, why your yajna is stopped, you know? It is the will of the providence that is creating this. And that is not allowing you to complete the 100th sacrifice even after you are trying. You know, your son tried with Indra, but you are not able to complete. Lord Brahma is saying to Prithu Maharaj, it is the will of the providence, and if you go on trying like this, if you go against the will of the providence all the time, it will act against you. This is very nice shloka is there. Lord Brahma tells, and he understands. Why? Because responsible man, at a responsible position, not very much attached. On the other hand, if you see Dhruva Maharaj's pastime, a responsible king, Uttanpad, but he was so much attached to Suruchi, he was so much attached to Uttama, right, that he could not distinguish between his responsibility and the attachment. In this pastime also, such a Daksha Prajapati, so much attached to the pride, position and everything that he could not even respect his enlightened son-in-law, Lord Shiva. And it's become, if you see this Daksha Prajapati, so many temples are there. We don't know where this pastime occurred. I was trying to figure it out, where this pastime actually happened, So some will say in Orissa, some will say in Jharkhand, some Delhi, Uttarakhand, Uttarakhand, everywhere, because this is very famous. This Daksha Prajapati's pastime is very famous in India, in this, more than the Dhruva also. So the point is, in the responsible position from all the pastimes, we understand that we have to learn to be little detached. Otherwise, things will not be working out in our favor. The second thing is dependence on God. Dependence, What Lord Shiva did in this pastime in Daksha, he did not speak a single word. See, the whole sacrifice is going on. It has become really noisy. Somebody is throwing something from this side, somebody is throwing. Even the second sacrifice was the worst, where Sati herself, she said, no, this is too much, because you as a father, you have not kept anything for Lord Shiva, any offering for Lord Shiva. This is not accepted, and I have to self-immolate myself, So that was more chaotic than the first one, right? So we see practically no dependence on the supreme power, supreme Lord here. But whereas Lord Shiva, he did not speak a word in the first sacrifice. Second sacrifice, he acted, he said, don't go, something wrong will happen, and it happened. But when he was questioned by his wife, because she challenged him by saying that why you are finding fault with my father, right? Even after the first episode, but don't get me wrong, she questioned her father also in the second sacrifice, that why you have not kept any offering for my husband, for Lord Shiva. So she was doing her thing very nicely. But she was challenging Lord Shiva by saying why he is not fault finder. But he said, no, you don't go there, because you are connected with me, he will also not respect you. All these things goes on. But the depending on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we see here from Lord Shiva, right? Because he said, I was meditating on the Lord. I was not just getting up and offering obeisances. It's not the only thing. I was praying. There is a connection, super soul connection is there. In the second pastime, in the same canto, we see a lot of dependence of Suniti, right? Uttanpad is the king, he is so much attached to Suruchi and Uttama. But when Dhruva was not allowed to sit on the lap, and when he went crying to her, to his mom, it's a wonderful thing. What Suniti tells Dhruva, everybody here, what she says, that even if somebody does wrong to you, you don't do anything wrong. Dhruva said, I can't accept this. I am a Kshatriya, that's what Prabhupada also writes there. He cannot take this way. Then she says, if you want to achieve something which you want, like a kingdom bigger than Lord Brahma and everyone, even your father, then go and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, go to forest and meditate. So this is, the son has come, 5-year-old son has come crying. Just he wanted to sit on the lap. You have not allowed that one. And the mother tells, go and chant the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, in the forest. And there's another story, he goes, Narad Muni, all those things. Then he achieves. So there is a dependence, right? Dependence. What is the dependence in the Pritu, the third pastime? is also there, Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj thought, when Lord Brahma said, just now we discussed that one, that is, it is the will of the providence that you are not be able to finish your 100th sacrifice. Then Prithu Maharaj thought, the whole purpose of this sacrifice, what is the whole purpose of this sacrifice? The whole purpose of any sacrifice is to please Lord Vishnu, right? So if Lord Brahma is staying and he is only the source, will of the providence, he doesn't want me to complete 100. So he is pleased with 99. So complete dependence on Lord. Okay, so what is the difference? I will say to my other king, okay, I did 100 or I did 100 sacrifice just like Lord Indra. So anyway, Lord is pleased. So one who is dependent on Lord will derive these things that the Lord himself is saying. So what is, even if it is whatever the number of yagna is there, he is pleased. So okay, I stop here. Because otherwise, a lot of, the Indra, if I continue, Indra will not stop. So it will not be good for the king of the heaven to go on, because king of the heaven is not a person who will understand this. This is known to Lord Brahma, all the sages and everybody. So there he stops. So that is the dependence on thing. Of course, there are many other qualities also. See, one is also broad vision. When in Daksha Prajapati's pastime, the vision he had was not broad, very clearly. Otherwise, I said in the beginning that your sacrifice, you are spoiling it. So it means you have a very narrow vision, right? But, and another thing is, in that pastime, in Daksha Prajapati's pastime, you see the cursing went on even on the community. The curse by Brigu to the Lord Shiva's followers was that you people will stay like this, you will be in dirt, you will go to Bhutsthan, you will be eating this, all those things. So that curse is still ongoing, right? You see the linkages. And when Nandi also cursed the Daksha Prajapati was a Brahmin, right? So that curse to the Brahmin community is still also there, actually, that some of you will not follow the rules and regulations, some of you will do this, some of you will accumulate wealth without giving any proper teaching. So that originates. So basically, the broader vision was not thought of by Daksha Prajapati, whereas the same vision was thought in the Prithu Maharaj's time, when Lord Brahma said to Prithu that if it's not about right or wrong, this is another important thing, it's not about who is right, who is wrong. Definitely Prithu Maharaj is right. He is doing his bit, 100 sacrifice, but that's not the question of right and wrong. So the question is for the time which is coming now, that somebody will follow wrong methods. If Indra is continued, if you continue with your 100 sacrifice, and if I don't stop you, and you don't agree, and Indra comes to the level which will be followed later on wrongly by the people, right? Anyway, you are the winner, so you stop it. That's the point. So it shows all the character, everything. So I thought time is now 8:50, 8:55. I'll stop here and summarize what we discussed today. We started off with first canto with beautiful evergreen, Bhagavatam is such that anything which you read, anything, other books and all that, and that is also one of the reasons, the sages were saying, that tell us all the things because it is not satisfying us. You read, you want to read other pastime. You read this one, you want to get inspiration from something else. So the first was all the questions, 6 questions of sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka Rishi to Sutta Goswami. That was showing eagerness, gratefulness, all those things, compassion towards all of us and the generations to come. The second canto was related to the creation, primary creation. Even if I am not attached directly with Krishna, but let's be attached with Krishna's energy. We discussed few shlokas from Srimad Bhagavatam Chatur Shloki. Third canto, we discussed third and fourth both to some extent. Mainly the family of Swayambhu Manu and Shatrupa, the 3 daughters, 2 sons, down the line, focusing on Daksh Prajapati's pastime, little bit of Dhruva, little bit of Prithu, combining this all 3 learning the first lesson, that with responsibility we have to be learn to detach ourselves, then dependence on Lord by the examples, broader perspective, and character building. Character building I wanted to speak a little bit more, but I maintain time, so it's like that. Hare Krishna. If any clarification is there, anything, comment, clarification, then character building, 5 minutes. Or we can have questions also. In the beginning I was thinking that every time it is like, one time one Mataji some months back, or Prabhuji आपके उसमें कुछ क्वेश्चन वो सब होता ही नहीं है, आप ही अपना बोलते रहते हो, ऐसा बोला उन्होंने. लेट मी टेल यू, मेरे को बाहर में ऐसे बोला सर आप जो करके आते हो वही बता देते हो, कुछ क्वेश्चन ही नहीं होता, हमारे पास इतना सारी चीज़ें रहती हैं, वही नहीं होता. सो वी कैन ऑल्सो हैव, इफ यू हैव, अदरवाइज I will speak. If anything is there, any suggestion, no question, suggestion. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Mataji is asking.
आप पूछा.
Okay. Prithu Maharaj example. Even if you are sometimes right also, to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you have to eschew your righteousness or the sense of superiority which comes out of being righteous actually. So this is, I feel, very relevant to us as devotees, because many times those devotees who follow implicitly all the rules and regulations, they become self-righteous and they have a tendency to look down upon others who are not so strongly willed actually. But what we have seen is the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead doesn't discriminate whether you are following all the rules and regulations properly or, because Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita that, even if you are a Durachari also, if your faith in me is strong, I am, you are very dear to me and you are saintly. So can you please a little elaborate on this?
Very important. In fact, I missed that point. When Daksha Prajapati, actually Daksha Prajapati's devotion is in the bhakti in the mode of passion. And taking from Prabhuji's explanation, if you see, bhakti in mode of passion is what? This is described in the 3rd canto by Lord Kapila to Devuti, Mother Devuti. Bhakti in the mode of goodness, bhakti in the mode of ignorance, bhakti in the mode of passion. I think this we will categorize in the bhakti in the mode of ignorance, not even passion. So there itself, and maybe it will explain to your suggestion also, that beautifully in 3rd canto, in some section which I don't remember in one of the chapter, but we can find it here, he says that a devotee who does very nicely puja, very nicely talking, all the things, as you said, rules and regulations, very nicely. If you ask him, he will give you 50, 100 rules of doing this, very nice words, very thing, I will never get little bit angry also here. But those devotees who are doing very nicely in the temple, but doesn't outside, outside if you see amongst non-devotees, among this, if their behavior is something like that, they are actually perpetual, they are separatists. Prabhupada writes, you better don't do things here nicely, or whatever you are doing, do it normally, not nicely, normally. How you function here, try to function outside also more or less in a similar manner. So coming to your, this thing, that you asked about that we are right, and those, if it is not followed rightly, then we become agitated, right? Something like that. So that's what Lord Kapila is teaching to his mother, that this can happen, that in a group or something, by learning the scriptures and everything, we will try to achieve that, and by the rules and regulation and everything, But our behavior, we should not stretch here that if something goes wrong outside world that we cannot take it. Stretch only here. Then when you sustain here, stretch here, sustain here. Millions of lives we have been in material world, right? So ऐसा इतना कोई, I personally, I don't believe in going back to Godhead. अरे कल ही छूट गया क्या ऐसा करके उसमें इतनी जल्दी कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Honestly, time is there, but we should not be complacent also. But at the same time, if I raise here and I'm not able to sustain it, then it's a big problem. And I didn't understand what is the right. We expect righteousness, right, everywhere. And you tend to put down others. Who are not so strongly. So basically, it means that it means what? That we are not compassionate, right? This is another thing which by discussion we understand. First canto, they were all the sages were very, very righteous. They were on a different platform only, right? With that, they learn to be compassionate, right? They are thinking about the common people who will come in the Kali Yuga, right? So they are, even on that platform, they are thinking about them. Even Srila Prabhupada, even Guru Maharaj, on that platform, they are thinking about the future generation who is going to come. They are translating this book. They are transforming the hearts and minds of the people. They are establishing the temple. They are establishing the system. For what? For the future generation, taking compassion, right? So that, in that sense, it will help. And this, when I remembered, it's a very nice section there. Everybody should read third canto, Lord Kapila's teaching to Mother Devhuti. The way he describes about the same point about the temple. We have to be more alert outside than the temple. Temple, everybody will forgive also, right? It is a forgiving place. If you see, any place, any temple, any people association where they are reading scriptures, this place is not meant for judging people, right? It is a place where we are cooperating. Our more important thing is how we function outside, how we preach outside. That's very important. Nobody will take, mind you, I don't know your experience, nobody likes to be forced. This is the nature of this world. Everybody moves by the heart. Nobody moves by the... You take this, chant the holy name, and your life will be successful. Yes, it is a fact, but can't be enforced. Yes, Prabhuji? Okay. Yes, Mataji, you are saying something, no?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Just wanted to know why these Karmakanda Yajnas that is done by Daksha, all these are what is the perspective? What is the, like, in a Karmakanda Yajna, these kind of, who are focused on achieving material, this one, why there is a enlightened soul, why we are bringing up honoring an enlightened soul there. And that too, if he's a sannyasi, then they respect. If he's a grahastha like Lord Shiva, people usually don't recognize any enlightened soul in a gathering of who has gathered for material benefit there. They are all assembled together not for attaining moksha there. They have assembled there for specific purpose of material elevation. So there, the grahastha, that too a grahastha, and no one recognizes an enlightened soul in such assemblies. So why such a specific, what is the need of what is the perspective, like even in Rajasuya sacrifice, why the president, that Krishna should be elected, and it was given so much of, only the devotees care about all this, like why it's nothing to do with non-devotees. In that circle, there is no learning as such. So why are we taking these subjects in their place and then making it, if it is a Bhagavata Saptaha or somewhere, then you expect these things, that some person, enlightened person, to be given the most highest. So because we as devotees, we are humble We don't want any honor in such places. We are just maybe as a matter of he was called there, he went there. It was like that. Like, why are we giving so much? I don't know how to.
So the question is basically why, in fact, you are questioning why so much elaborately Daksha pastimes are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. In a way, your question is this. If I've understood right?
Yeah, that is one
why
thing.
we are reading so much in
Why
detail
are we going
about...
behind Daksha, making him like, as a... He is in his world, he is doing his job and nothing.
Yes. So, if... And you said it is lot of karma kanda things are there, which in the beginning itself, Srimad Bhagavatam kicks out all these things, right? Dharma projita kaita uttara. It's in the beginning, it is kicking out. Then why to one fellow, 5-year-old wants a kingdom like this and goes and says, okay, Om Namah Bhagavate.
Something
That
to do
is
with
something is there. Yeah, one fellow is in
Here
Prithu
is
Maharaj,
Daksha.
he is fighting for the 100th, 99 and 100, and here Daksha is creating nuisance in the yajna, yeah? So why are we doing this? This is your question. In the beginning, Bhagavatam has kicked out all the things, right? Now, let's go to the canto, and that may answer, may not answer, but let's see. Prahlad Maharaj. Hiranyakashipu, how much atrocities. Can you imagine any father doing so much of atrocities on the son in the whole, any world? Throwing, burning, I don't know what else is, what not is described, right? When Hiranyakashipu was killed, and all the sages, they offered prayers, lot of prayers, offering going on, Lord Narasimhadev, right? Lord Narasimhadev appeared killed, and the prayers are going on. Lord Narasimhadev asked Prahlad, what do you want? Ask for benediction. He said, what I will ask? I don't want anything, I just want your darshan, everything, right? But Lord Narasimhadev said, no, you have to ask. You have to tell me what you want. Something. What Prahlad asked? Anybody remembers? Yes, this is one thing. If you go further, this is very related to Karma Kanda only. He asked, give my father liberation, even after this. Okay, this part is still devotee part. Lord Narasimha tells him to do a proper shraddha. Yes. What is that? Karma Kanda only. But proper shraddha is being told by Lord Narasimhadev to Prahlad Maharaj. For that father who abused, who never cared, right? But in Bhagavatam it is also described one time Hiranyakashipu was smelling the head of Prahlad. That is also there. But overall, for such father nobody will care. But he said do proper shraddha, right? So that's a very striking point, that why Srimad Bhagavatam Lord Narasimhadev is saying to do shraddha when you can do Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, go on chanting, go your distance, and then do and finish it off. Why 13 days? Why not 3 days? But he said go and proper do shraddha. So my understanding is that it is, it is so much integrated things. It is combined thing. Karma Kanda, to some extent, to the extent which elevates us, to the extent it is essential for our Krishna consciousness, for our understanding, is required. Is required. Otherwise, what is the value of taking फेरा? चलो ना यार, मैं शादी कर लेते हैं कहीं ऑफिस में, ये कोर्ट में कर लेते हैं जाके, हो गया ना शादी, साइन करो, मैं भी करता हूँ, तुम भी करो, पेपर रखो, हो गया. क्या जरूरत है वो आग के उधर घूमने के लिए, right? So like that, so many things. Elaborately, this is for our learning. किसी दक्ष प्रजापति हो या कोई भी हो, ये सब हमारे सीख के लिए है कि when we come to that powerful position with money and what all we do, And what is the tendency described here in elaborately? We have to take that. But as a devotee, you said, right, as a devotee, what we have to take? We have to take Lord Shiva's instruction to Sati, that you are telling me that I did not get up, but I got up, not physically, mentally I was up. This is what he said, no? I was meditating on Vasudev, that Prithu Maharaj. By Prithu Maharaj's 199, what came out? Came out the understanding that for the broader vision, for the world to come, this type of mentality is not right to compete for 100, right? So from Karma Kanda thing, something good came out. It is up to us how we take it. From Yajna at home, if you see astrology, it is very important to do some yajna, some Agni Puja and because Saturn will move to Meena Rashi from 21st today, no? By 28th it will go to Meena Rashi, 12th. Now many are doing this because Saturn is Vayu Tattva. If you say Shani is Vayu Tattva. So वायु कहाँ से आएगा? यज्ञ से करोगे तो थोड़ा धुआं आएगा, अगरबत्ती से धुआं आएगा. So there are, I don't want to go to astrology. So these are all कर्म कांड. So इससे क्या होगा? घर का माहौल थोड़ा ठीक हो सकता है. Will it help you in chanting the holy name? Yes. So why not take it to the extent which is not like, we are now only karma kanda. Not like that. But message is there. These all things have message.
That's right. I understood. But the part of the doubt that I had is, anyway, these people don't recognize the enlightened soul. So our requirement there is not that at all. Like why we have to expect that those people will behave in that way. Like
those people means
Daksha and followers.
I think Daksha and all, they are symbol. In other, let's say, Daksha existed or not existed. If somebody has this question, that question is different, right? Even if I say it's a symbolism, let's say, some people say, no, this is symbolic, right? But lessons are there, no, or no? So your question was what? Even if it is, the second thing was what did you ask now, just now? You said, no, something, Daksha, about Daksha?
My question is that the usually the enlightened souls hide their identity, and they also don't expect any kind of respect there.
Like Lord Shiva?
Yes.
Yeah.
So here from Daksha, whatever comes out of that, it is definitely offensive. That is a bad thing that we shouldn't do. We learned that. But then you are going in a wrong place to expect anything from there. Like, this kind of things as day-to-day basis in Kali Yuga, we do face.
Yes.
It is like once in a lifetime maybe for those people there.
Yeah.
But here, day in and day out, we keep facing this, that no one is going to recognize, here in the school, he's a devotee in the school. I mean, no one does all that. You are a person who have to answerable for. It is like that. So, who has to set the perspective? Like if suppose this fruitive yajna, this karma kanda yajna, somebody had to tell Daksha the protocol, right? Like this person is to be honored, you better do it. Like in that way. Not as an enlightened soul, but as a, this is the protocol that you are supposed to follow, you better follow it. You don't see that he is a son-in-law. So there is something seriously wrong there that...
So you are saying who should guide Daksha?
Yes, not only Daksha, but even in that Rajasuya Yajna, that somebody had to elect Krishna. I mean, there is something seriously wrong. Like I felt that...
By the way, Daksha, if you read, I'm sure you have gone, Daksha Prajapati became a big devotee later on, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about the devotee, Prabhu. There, in such context, no, we don't understand that why
okay.
somebody had to remind Daksha that you are, even as a materialist, that these people are the leaders here. You better pay obeisance. Like every area, there are some people who sit there. Whether they belong there or not, they just sit there. So you better offer and then continue with what you are doing. So
I think Daksha Prajapati he did not understand, like Lord Shiva. He took Lord Shiva very lightly. That is the problem. He had a guidance, Lord Brahma was there.
I'm just having my doubt that these Karmakanda Yajnas have these Shiva, Brahma, all this as the top, the leaders should be there, they will be respected. So you do it and then go ahead with your Yajna. So why he expected in the top, such the beginning of creation, why such flaws, such serious flaws happened?
Maybe Prabhuji, if you can add something.
I don't know. I'm sorry if I
No.
extended the
Your
question.
doubt is doubt. So if something you
Hare
can
Krishna.
add there.
We take it as the Leela of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So for us to discuss, so the Lord has performed this Leela. Hare Krishna. So we thank Prabhuji for wonderfully taking us from Canto 1 to Canto 4. Very nicely expressed how we can develop the mood, and then from the creation, how it helps for those persons who are not devoted to the Lord, how they can get connected to the Lordship, and then taking from there to the to this fourth canto. So thank you very much, Prabhuji. So finally, Prabhuji has given, whatever when we are listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam, if you are just listening it and to his heart, then it will help you in personally also. So now Prabhuji has completed with the last two lessons. What we can learn from this part is that the responsibility comes with detachment. So it's, if you think personally, everyone, it's relevant for all of us. So and again, finally completed with the next step, it goes to the dependence on the Lord. So we'll all depend on the Lord. We'll try to understand these scriptures in that level. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Everyone. So I request His Grace Mukund Murari Prabhuji. Okay, there are some two certificates to be issued, and also the announcements. Little Gogul workshop for children. It will be conducted in the temple from 22nd to 27th March. So please register your children. And ISKCON Disciple course.